Howdy. How you doing there, David?
I'm doing pretty fine. How about you?
Oh, yes, it is Monday. It is time for Car Chat.
Mhm.
Today's guest is Mr. Ben Basch, and he's with GSS Services. Thanks for being on the show, Ben. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about you and what you guys do over at GSS?
Glad to be here. I've been working in multifamily services for well over 20 years, entered the industry through the way most people know me, through swimming pool management and aquatic services, and recently made a change. So I started working with GSS at the beginning of this year, and at GSS, we provide staffing solutions for multifamily and commercial buildings. We provide front desk, concierge, janitorial service, security, and we do street sweeping as well. So a little bit of everything, but all in support of building owners and building managers.
Ben, when I heard that you went to GSS, I was very interested because GSS stands for Ground Support Services, and you'll think about putting boots on the ground, putting people where they're needed in amenities, facilities. How hard is it today to find people to put in those places?
I mean, everybody feels the tight labor market, and honestly, that's really the driving force for people reaching for our service. It's, the tighter the labor supply, the more our potential clients are going to be looking to outsource these services because they're struggling with it. And if they're staffing for one building here and there, very difficult. We are specialists in that area. We have a great pipeline of staff. We're interviewing all the time. We're doing our open houses all the time. So because it's 100% of our focus, we're going to do a better job.
Sure,
That's
sure.
it.
So is there one skill set that's more valuable or that's more important in this kind of work than some of the others? Like what's a really important skill for somebody to have?
Well, it depends on the position, obviously, right?
Okay.
So front desk, concierge, customer service oriented. They need to be detail oriented. They have to be able to be fast on their feet and stay on task. And what I've been really amazed with our staff, I mean, they know the residents' names, they know the dogs' names. So it's just a high level of customer service. They need to have some of that, emotional intelligence to be able to interact with the different residents and different people working on the building.
Sure. I mean,
Well, it's interesting to see that those soft skills are so needed. I guess Steve and I could probably apply and win as a pair because I'm emotional and he's intelligent, so it'll work just fine.
You're the total package together.
What makes your bullpen or your team stand out from the rest?
I mean, I think between the interview process and the way we shadow our staff and the support that they get, the staff does enjoy working with us. They are really highly engaged, and that makes for a better experience for the client. Someone that's happy in their work, they're engaged in their work, they feel supported, they feel they have all the tools they need to be successful. And it's one of the things that we really hone in on when we're talking with our clients is the amount of supervision and support that our staff gets.
If we could switch gears just a little here, I mean, you mentioned earlier being involved heavily in business development. So you're going to be branching out to newer markets, some stuff, and growing, right? So do you have a philosophy?
I had never heard of GSS when they got in touch with me about this opportunity. And so for me, in terms of growing this business, this is a company that's been wildly successful. They're already doing a great job throughout the 5 boroughs in New York, certainly a fair amount of spillover in New Jersey. But within, the condo HOA world, large apartment groups, they're really unknown. I have to make sure people know that we're experienced and qualified to deliver on what they're looking for. I don't know if that's really a mantra, but we're the biggest company that they've never heard of. So we're capable. We've just been under the radar. And, my job is really to make sure that people are aware of the business and know that we're capable. And I want to be easy to reach and top of mind with these services.
Got it.
All right. Well, easy to reach is as simple as clicking on your name on the LinkedIn page so people can send you a direct message. Now, I'd like to go back to the most important thing you have, which is the people. How can employees cope with the rising expectations from the residents in the communities in which they work? We see there's more and more demand. How do you feel about that?
It really is going to come down to finding staff with the right work ethic and that they're going to be engaged and feel supported. I mean, I keep going back to it, but that's really what it comes down to. they need to be supported by their employer, GSS. We work very well with our clients. We have great rapport. We're straight shooters. So if there's a need for additional staff or there's a problem, we do want to have a conversation and be very upfront about it. You know, we want to make sure that our staff is in a position to be successful.
So as we deal with the labor shortages, amongst other shortages, supply chain issues and whatnot, where do you see this going? Where do you see this in about 5 years from now? Do you think we're still going to be struggling to find qualified people? Do you think we're still going to have this really, really shallow pool of people to choose from?
I just don't totally see it that way. I know the labor market is very tight. I know people have a hard time hiring, but we have over 1,500 staff members working. So where do I think it's going? Like everything, it kind of waxes and wanes. We'll hit some kind of economic recession and then staff will be a little easier to bring on. I do think that the trend continues towards outsourcing because it's just the hassle of hiring and scheduling and those things. A lot of the community managers have realized that, you know, they have a specific skill set and they need to be able to work on, you know, those things more associated with their job and free up some time and energy by outsourcing these positions.
So, Ben, let me ask you a question regarding the rising expectations from the residents. What do you think we all can do to either help the staff if we live in a community, or what can be done at a micro level to actually improve the interaction with staff and help them not be so frustrated when times are tough?
I think it's really important to catch people doing things right and giving them some words of encouragement and letting them know when they're doing a great job, because so often all the focus is on the negative. You didn't do this. This isn't clean enough. That. Well, let's make sure that we're catching them doing things right too and call those things out. Because if you're not doing that, you're never going to get the best out of anybody. You have to,
Wow.
you've got to catch them doing the right things too.
I like that a lot. Thanks, Ben.
So what's your ideal customer look like as far as like where do you guys operate? So geographically and size wise too.
Our headquarters are in Brooklyn, New York, but we
Okay.
have regional offices. You know, I have an office in Jersey City. We have office in South Florida. We're operating in Chicago. We're growing pretty quickly geographically. And for us, any building, usually a mid-rise to high-rise type of building, is a great client for us, especially if they're highly amenitized. They've got a lot of square footage of common area. Those are all areas that require a high level of detail from a cleaning standpoint and a customer service standpoint. So those are really great clients for us. And, you know, fortunately, there's just so much development going on right now that the demand for the service is really high.
Well, thanks for sharing all these pieces and nuggets of knowledge about what you do and what can be done better. I really love the piece about acknowledging the good that people are doing on the staff. But now it's also the times I would like to give you to acknowledge someone that has been influential in your career.
In terms of having a huge influence on me, I think from a work ethic standpoint and, you know, an ethical standpoint, I'd have to say my mom. She raised 3 kids, single mom for a number of years, and just a very, very hardworking, great person. So I'll just say that, you know, learned so much from my mother. She's definitely huge inspiration to me still.
Well, hi, Mom.
Susan. You can call her Susan.
Hey, Susan. Anyway, well, thank you very much, Ben, for joining us. Stephen, James, Roderick, we'll see you next week on Car Chat with a new guest.
Absolutely. Ben, you know, thanks for being here, man. It's always such a pleasure speaking with you and getting to hear about what you're doing out there and what a difference that you can actually make and bringing this, you know, these much needed positions to these buildings for the community associations. We love it. And we'll see you guys next week on the next episode of Community Association Car Chat.
Great being here. Thanks, guys.
Take care.